Tiger's back, and we go back to French Lick. And what's going on with Liv now? Let's get right into it. Welcome. So far today, I'm loving the course. I love the views here. I think Ralph was right when we were talking to him.
Got the over/under set.
I don't think we have enough battery power in the cameras to Hey!
I like that new music there at the end. It's got a nice little beat going on it.
Well, it's just the intro went a little bit longer when I changed it up this week, so it has a better finish at the end. So hope you like the new intro. Nice. I kind of had a glitch there. I almost played the wrong thing real quick, but
better finish at the end, like a really good bourbon.
There you go. How's everybody doing this week?
Good.
Good.
Busy. Yeah. Busy week.
Busy is a way to put this.
Yeah.
But
you guys play golf? I know some people had a long weekend this weekend. I actually worked yesterday, but did you guys get out on the golf course this weekend?
I did not have a long weekend.
Columbus Day.
Yeah.
Oh, we had school, so didn't even.
No, we did not in Florida.
Didn't even register.
My son was off from school, so he was home yesterday with me. We had a fun day. Didn't get out to any golf this week. Had some fun birthday parties that my son had to go to this weekend. So that was our weekend. Was the typical dad stuff.
I did sneak out on Sunday afternoon. I played with the Orlando Golfer. I played with two of our former guests this weekend, the Orlando Golfer, and I played with Alfredo from the first tee.
Nice.
We played Legends at Orange Lake, and it was a really good time. And had a great conversation with Alfredo. It was fun to sit in a golf cart with him for the first time and just chat and get to know each other, out on the golf course. So he's doing so many great things at the first tee here in Central Florida that it's always fun to just hear what they've got going on and what they've got coming up next.
Well, that's what we want out of this show, is that growing the game and doing that with things like that with the first tee. So if you haven't seen that show, check out our show with Alfredo from the first tee of Central Florida. Great show a few weeks ago on that.
Yeah.
So
that was awesome. So,
but
I think we need to hop into first round because we've got a lot. I think first round's going to go long. We've got a pre-recorded interview for happy hour. Like, man,
we got a lot of pre-recorded stuff today.
We do. Let's go to first round.
Ready to take your game to the next level? Desert Fox Golf's collegiate gear is growing fast, with over 25 universities and counting. Show off your favorite team on the course with the Phone Caddy and DJ10 speaker, built for easy access for every round. Perfect for students, alumni, and college sports fans looking to show off their school spirit. Gear up today at desertfoxgolf.com.
I will say with Desert Fox Golf, if you don't have a phone caddy, a lot of carts are going to that aluminum frame. So this strap on the back makes all the difference. They have a spot for like the magnetic speaker, but it's tough to fit two of these things on there. So this is a game changer out there. Make sure you get yourself a Desert Fox phone caddy and the DJ10 speaker.
And and I've got one here. Wait.
Oh, the cigar cutter now's out there.
As
always, I got one here too. So always with the swing aid.
Yes.
Get yourself hooked up with some Desert Fox right there, and use code the Golfing Dads for 50% off.
Golfing Dads. Yes.
All right. Well,
hey, what do you want to do? How do you want to?
I'm gonna get into this video. Give us a little bit of an intro on. We're going back to French Lick. We're gonna talk more about French Lick, more about the resort here. So let's get right into it. So,
it's just amazing to sit back here, watch that, and be like, I want to go back.
I know.
Yeah,
What?
So good.
What a weekend we had at French Lick. And if you watched our episode last week, we had Rob on from the Die course and featured that. Tonight, we're going to feature the Don and Loria Setties and that course in happy hour. But what about the other stuff we did? We did some fun stuff while we were there. One of the most amazing things that we did was Dave got a hole-in-one on their new par 3 course and was the first person on the second hole with the Bridgestone mindset to get a hole-in-one. So, Dave, I'm going to you first.
Okay.
What was that like? Like, what was going through?
I tell you what, it's going back and watching the video, and I know I had this problem a lot this week with spatial awareness on where the camera was. I wish it would have moved left or right just a little bit so we could see the ball go in on the video. But I tell you what, I've never had it happen. I've been close. And to have it happen in a location like that, and we had gotten a message there, from where it was just like, yep, it was the coaching that she gave me that morning that ultimately led to, that shot dropping into the hole. So, but frankly, even the par 3 course there is immaculately cared for on, how that is done and everything else. So, I know we talked ad nauseum about this, but if you're looking for a place to go for a guy's golf trip, and rather than your normals of Florida and Arizona and things like that, French Lick, Indiana needs to be on that bucket list of places to go and play golf.
100%. I mean, it's got everything that you want to go for. We're going to get into some of that here, but I'm going to ask you, Steve, now, what was one of the things that you remembered besides the golf that we did that you thought was phenomenal?
The biggest, honestly, at some point, Dave was going to run into a hole-in-one. We all knew that was going to happen.
I told you, and it's on the video. I said, of all of us, I said, Dave's going to do it if any of us do.
Right. I think the craziest stat, when you look back, and we obviously did this video. We had our buddy Steve was with us too, as our fourth. But I think the coolest thing that we did, on Saturday morning before we played the Ross, we got up and had breakfast at the buffet, which was absolutely amazing at the resort.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
With Vice President Pence, by the way.
Yeah, well, Vice President Pence was there as well.
And for a resort style buffet, for all three of us having worked in resorts before, very reasonably priced.
Oh, yeah.
Correct, yeah. But I think the biggest miracle of the week wasn't the hole-in-one. It was the fact that all four of us, when we went clay pigeon shooting, hit a target more than once.
And it was my first time ever shooting a gun.
Three out of the four of us remembered to hand a gun to the next person with a safety on.
It was unloaded. It was open. It's fine. It was unloaded.
We had specific rules from that.
Yes.
So
and Greg, I got to give it to you and Steve Cox. The two of you had never shot guns before, had never shot at pigeons before, whereas Steve and I have obviously been out doing that. And Greg, you on the range, you one-upped almost. You can't one-up a hole-in-one, but you had a perfect round.
So I edited the video, and I edited the video specifically for this because we're going to show one of our rounds at the gun range. Guess which station I chose for this edit?
The same one that you and I both had a perfect round at.
100%. That's what I went for.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I want to show you all kind of what this was like. It takes you through our instructor there, and it was Sean was his name?
Yep.
Yes.
Am I right with this? Our instructor, Sean, who was a former police officer and does this job. And as he says, this is not a job. He says he does nothing for a living, but gets paid for it.
Yeah.
Was amazing and made this experience even that much more like fun for us. He enhanced the experience from his knowledge and his just demeanor about this. So you're going to see in this video I'm about to show us at the gun range. This is at our third station, I believe. And at station 2, which I didn't have the footage of, I have some footage, but this put together better. Dave almost made a perfect round, and we were trying not to jinx him. But at the next station, we had some fun. So I'm going to play this. There is sound for it, so we can talk through it as well. But just watch what the experience was at the gun range.
Okay, here's your presentation pair. The one thing I do ask is you're going to see, watch this, here's A. They're coming up here from the right, Craig. You see that tree's kind of beat up?
Yep.
About 40 feet up? Because most people take their shot right in there.
Gotcha.
Now, it is tough to see these pigeons.
Once it gets down
if you're watching
low,
on something, you can see them in the air.
Blowing
I will
straight
zoom
into
in
that
a
brush
little
pile,
bit
and all the
in
shot
this
was coming
video
right
as
back on us.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Not a good idea.
No, and B is almost identical.
Or coming out of the same spot. Okay.
They're coming about 10 feet apart up there. It's really hard to pick it up almost, though, until you get almost at that tree.
Yeah.
Yep.
The great thing about this is none of us shot
And you kind of want to
something
shoot
we
it
weren't supposed
as it
to
starts
shoot.
to make that turn, because right
That is
there,
true.
it's right in front of you. But once it makes a turn, again, it's descending. You'll shoot behind it.
Hey guys, also I know we talked about the buffet. We went to the power plant lounge the first night we all got there, which the food was great. The beverages were flowing.
Nice. Nice.
Good job.
So just
And
like
then we
that.
had
Bolt.
it's not
There you go. 4 for 4.
Sean's playing. Sean's playing, but you're not, Greg.
Coming from a guy who shot 0 and 0 the first 2
That's what I'm
times.
saying.
it froze up there a little bit. So
I
let's
know
hop back in.
my computers. Can you hop out on your end, Steve?
Hop.
Can you control it on your end?
It's not. It's. I can. But it's not. It's the video, Greg. I don't know what's going on. We'll post the video on social media for you.
Yeah. I tell you what, guys,
From a
this
guy
is
who shot 0 and
this is
0
what's great
the first
about
2 times.
a live show. We run into these things, and it happens. But one of the great things about Sean, he set the bar pretty low for us, in saying that they had a bachelorette party out there,
Yes.
and they purchased 200 rounds, and the bride to be had gotten it on either her last shot or next to last shot that they got one. So that's where the bar was set for us. And Steve, obviously you and I have done this in the past before, a little bit different. I think all 4 of us went over on the first station.
I hit Greg hit Steve hit 1 and then I hit 1 at the first station.
Yes. Okay, Greg and I went over, but it's a matter of getting adjusted, and you can.
And it's funny because it was a double barrel 20 gauge that we were using. And after my first 2 shots, I said I'm shooting high. I knew where I was shooting. I knew I was high on it. And I said, okay, I need to go ahead and just lower it. And I lowered the gun down and hit the next target. And I was like, okay. And I think when you go out there and you don't do that very often. The minute
you're not using your own weapon,
right? And the minute you get 1 off the board, you can relax a little bit, and all of a sudden now it's a little more fun because you're not the bachelorette party waiting till that 200th shot to hit a target
to get one. So but working with Sean, going through that, it can't. When we go back, not if, when we go back, we will make sure that Sean is our guide again, because he was just so relaxed and so just upbeat about the whole thing, and walked and I'm sure all their guides are the same. Just kind of walk you through, how everything's supposed to work, and
Yep.
really accommodating with us setting up
amazing.
cameras, because he'd
Yeah.
never been, he says, okay, kid, this is a first, for me here, doing this, but just going out, taking the side-by-sides out, getting out there, going to the stations. He did stop at one station for us where the birds came out at about 40, 50 miles an hour, coming across there, and he showed us what that was like. And I don't think
we would have all gone 0 for 4 on that one.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. If anybody's ever gone out and shotguns and pigeons, it's an experience you want to do before going out and drinking a whole bunch of transfusions on the golf course, because they won't let you go out if you've had a whole bunch of transfusions on the golf course.
I will say, from a standpoint of the first person, the first timer out there, it was so exhilarating. It was so much fun. I wish I would have done it after golf, because I feel it kind of affected my golf game from not ever doing that before. But what an experience it is! If you've never done it before, I recommend it. It is fun. It is controlled. It is I was expecting to go to like a field, looked like a driving range. I was not expecting to be driving through the woods in these hidden little pagodas, or whatever you're going to call them, gondolas, not gondolas, pergolas. Yeah. And then just to be out there and see them shoot in the air. And you think, when you see this on TV and you see it in those like old movies, you see these clay pigeons that seem pretty big. These were small little discs that you really got to follow out there.
It's basically a little bit bigger than a coaster.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
So,
and the ones that went on the ground, I thought was pretty funny. The rabbits, that was a fun.
That's where I went 3 for 4 on that one, with the rabbits going across. But you could really see out there, whether you've done it before or first timer, the guide is there for you to walk you through the whole thing. There has been some instances where he said where somebody dropped the gun a little bit too low and blew up one of the launchers, and you get a bill for that at the end of your stay.
I was so worried at that one station.
We all missed high there. We all missed high.
What we even talked about with the one where Steve and I went 4 for 4, the brush right there. He said, don't shoot too low, because it'll hit the brush and the buckshot will come back at you. And in the video, what you would have seen, and I might try it again here in a few minutes, but Steve, you let one drop. I mean, almost to the ground where that was. You hit it. You did hit the target. But we all said, is he going to shoot the gun at some point?
I think I had the same thing happen to me too. So, because I didn't pick it up coming out of where it was in the woods.
You actually say that in the video at the end.
Yeah.
The other thing that we did was after Dave's hole-in-one that night, we went to Moomoo's, the steakhouse in French Lick, and had a really good dinner that night. Thank you to them, because the dinner was amazing. And all of us had ribeyes, and there were a few old fashions that were had at dinner that night. So
calamari, some old fashions. The team over at Moomoo's was phenomenal.
Yes.
And it was just great service over there all around. We met some other guys that were there on a trip, and they were there for a birthday. It was my birthday over that weekend. And funny enough that we're both named Greg, that were having birthdays that weekend.
Yep.
And it was just a great environment. That's the thing about French Lick, is it's this small little town. You have that Hoosier hospitality. So you get your golf, you get your casino, you get your gun range. I don't know what would be the one thing you would think would be missing from this guy's trip, to be honest with you.
And here's the thing.
An open tab on the golf course?
It's got everything you need. It's got 3 courses.
Yeah.
A 9-hole, 2 regular, and a par 3 course.
Yep.
You're able to get some fantastic even though I do not partake in the cigar anymore, there is a selection of very fine cigars available there, and you get one when you do play the Pete Dye course. at the end of your round there. A nice little bourbon bar would be a caveat at the end, but the selection there at the Die and the Ross when you got done playing in the clubhouse was fantastic as well too.
Correct.
So I'm going to ask you this. We went to both, and we're going to talk the Don today, but the bars at both, which bar did you like better from a course standpoint?
I like the outside of the Die better just because of where we were when we shot that video that we showed last week. Yep. I like the size of the bar at the Ross.
Yeah,
better.
I would agree with that.
I agree with that. I like
we
the
didn't
selection at the Ross, like what they had there from a liquor standpoint. The beer was the same across the board. I like the bar though, and the atmosphere in the bar at the Don better, but the
Don was a little bit more larger clubhouse feel than what the Die was. The Die had a little bit more upscale choices on their selections. Somehow I walked home with an empty bottle. It was empty. I did not take a bottle from the resort.
We finished that bottle off.
I finished this was the bottle we finished for our old fashions.
That was your hole-in-one bottle.
It's my hole-in-one bottle right there. But they had things that were special. Like this bottle of Woodford was specially done and selected for the Die course at French Lick.
Well, show the label. Put the label up to the screen because it says it on the front.
Yeah, so it does say French Lick right on the back of it, and then the Pluto Bar French Lick Resort, which is a really cool engraving. So, they had a Blanton's Gold, they had a Maker's 46. There was Tito's, but a lot of their bourbons were hand selected just for those resorts. So those one-off single barrels bottled just for French Lick. So if you're looking for a great experience to, sit down after a round, either the Die or the Dawn, is a fantastic location for a pre-round Bloody Mary and a post-round beverage.
Well, speaking of the Dawn, let's get right into happy. So we went in and we interviewed Rob the last week. This week, we have a former LPGA pro, a former Big Break contestant, Lori Acedes.
Current LPGA, what's the LPGA? She plays on that tour with.
You should have thought this one through.
Yeah, I had it, and then I went to say it, and I forgot it.
Well, I think we say it in here, so let's get right into it.
And now, tavern guest.
Yes.
Everybody, welcome back to the tavern, and we are not in our usual location today. We are live on location at the Donald Ross Clubhouse at French Lick Resort, and we are with Lori Acedes, the head professional here. And Lori, you've done some pretty cool things. You've been in the Big Break. You won 7 times on the Symetra Tour. You've competed on the LPGA Tour and on the Legends Tour. And now you're on the Tavern podcast. So, I mean, this is the biggest highlight of all of this.
Can I have a drink? Yes, you can. Bartender?
So, what brought you to French Lick to be the professional at the Donald Ross course?
Oh, boy. Long story, short story. Came here as a tour player. 2006, I think the LPGA teaching division played this course. And then the Legends Tour started playing the Pete Dye course. And whenever I went to an event, it was more about the people than the place. So when I came here, I just would walk up to you and go, "Hi, I'm Lori." I met Dave and Lisa and Joe and Melody and Steve and Connie, and I just would introduce myself to everybody and hung out with the bag crew and the cart guys at Legends Bar and Grill. It was all about people. And after the first year, I come back, then we're all having dinner. Then the next year we're all having dinner. Then I'm staying in your house. And then it just became that they were just an extended family. I knew so many people every time I came back here. It was weird. I mean, driving up the Pete Dye lot, you're like, this place is amazing. And it just, just about people. I lived in Arizona at the time, managing a golf course out there, and moved to Texas with that company, and was a director of golf in Texas. And Dave Harner and I would Marco Polo app. He'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Washing carts." "What are you doing?" "Washing carts," because it was during COVID.
Yeah.
So he was doing all the work here, and I was doing all the work in Texas. And he knew I wasn't happy in Texas. I didn't like the country club lifestyle, and called me up one day and says, "We got an opening. You want a job?" I said, "Sign me up." A month later, I was in Indiana. It was Halloween. I moved here on Halloween. It was freaky, but cool. And lived in the hotel for 2.5 months, found a place to live, and the rest is history. I can't explain a one-light town to you with 2 famous golf courses and fixing to have a third, and just the people here made it for me. So that's how I ended up here.
That's what I kind of told them when we drove in last night. I said, if I was going to hide a body somewhere, I go, we're in the middle of nowhere in Indiana.
It's the right place to
It
do
really
it.
is, but it's you get out here, and like you said, it's so beautiful out here. Like, I live up in the northern part, or the central part of the state, north of here, and it's a completely different feel. And this is just, it has that great Midwest hospitality feel out here.
It does, and for a New Yorker, that's kind of tough.
And I'm from Jersey, and I got used to it.
Yeah.
I'm learning the Midwest nice.
Midwest nice.
I've been called the old hag on the hill. Like I had to learn to like wave at people and not, the other thing. And like New
You're
Yorkers,
driving down the road and the
I
hand just
haven't
goes up
heard
off
a
the wheel
honk.
and
I haven't honked at anybody.
Yeah.
Like it's just the craziest, nicest place.
Yeah. So, Lori, what lessons from your competitive golf and everything like that are you bringing here, to the Ross course and here in French Lick?
I think what I bring, and I tell everybody, it's just me. It's my personality. Like, so I can shoot the shit with the guys out there and give them a hard time, and I can be the country club nice head pro, right? Like, I can be all things, but again, it's about the people. I enjoy people. I enjoy coming to work and seeing what groups are here today and what groups are coming, and just being, bringing myself and my personality to a family that has been tight knit for years and years here at French Lick, and I'm kind of the outsider, so I bring a different dynamic here, and I think it's just, personality, just have fun with people.
I think sometimes you need that different personality, especially in a family Midwestern concept, just to bring it in, give it a little juice, a little bit of fun.
Yeah, well,
Is that what you do in Iowa?
That's right.
So, as a golfer, the one thing that we all love is we love playing this game. It's frustrating all the time, and you always hit that one shot or that one highlight that you have. So, what's one highlight from your playing days that makes you smile still to this day?
Oof. I tell everybody my favorite all-time golf course is Oakmont. It was my very first U.S. Open, and I think it was the 3rd hole. All 3 of us were within 10 feet. We were fixing to make a birdie and really get the Open started, and then after we all putted, we were chipping. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be hard.
It's a humbling experience.
It was like, you can't make up the stories that can happen every day in golf. Something new can happen to you every single day you play, and that's the coolest part about it. I can't remember too many specifics because every day is something. Every day is something.
So let's talk about the golf course here. Donald Ross obviously is one of the most iconic architects in golf. When you play a Donald Ross course, you never forget it. It's one of those things that, as a golfer, we just don't forget those things. So what makes the Ross course here at French Lick so special?
Well, my favorite picture is on the mantle. It's of the greens crew that is horses, mules, and shovels. And not a lot of earth was moved. And when you look out there, it doesn't look that hard. It looks like manageable, but there's not a flat spot out there. The greens are incredible. They are a Donald Ross green, true and true. And if you are the best putter, you will win. It's just it's a unique golf course.
Dave has an advantage. My one and only advantage in the game of golf.
That's my weak spot. So I like.
It's the only reason they keep me around.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't move much earth,
Yeah.
and so it's like this was what it looked like in 1917.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you describe, the personality of like the Donald Ross, how is that compared to the personality over on the Dye course?
Well, I think this would be considered more historic. It was built in 1917 with no equipment. And then Pete Dye's last work of art, they moved millions and millions and millions of cubic tons of dirt to build the golf course. So, I think more modern compared to historic, right? Like, I think that you can't find golf courses like this one in too many places.
So we're going to play this course tomorrow, and we are excited about that. But as the pro out here, what's your one piece of advice you have for anyone who's playing this for the first time?
Don't overthink it. I just tell people attack the pins. The guys have a whole spiel in there. They can tell you the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs, but you're not going to hit it like a tour player. You're hopefully get it on the green and let your putter do the talking. So just attack the pins, have some fun. Don't overthink it. Play extra break and just go enjoy yourself. Have a drink.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what the tavern
That'll
does
help.
that.
That'll help.
So
there we go.
I pick up my snowman in the middle of the fairway, go up and drop it on the green, and 2-putt for 10.
Double par pickup.
No, okay.
What's your favorite hole out here?
Well, everybody loves 16. It's par 3 because I've had a hole-in-one on it too. So,
Okay.
but it's the calmest par 3 we have. But it's got little fingers that shoot out and bunkers all around it. It's really a cool little hole, and you feel like you could make a one.
Okay. I like holes like that.
Yeah.
I still don't have a one, so I'm kind of jealous of your hole in
Yeah.
one
About
out here.
11
Yeah.
now.
You have 11.
Yeah.
I have
Greg,
two double
you
eagles.
don't have
I don't have one.
I don't have one.
I have 2 albatross, but
Oh,
no.
well, that's good. That's good.
But so this resort here in French Lick, it's one of the few places where guests can play both, a Ross and a Dye course, during their stay. What kind of golfers tend to gravitate here to the Ross course?
Well, to be honest, a lot of people don't really know that Donald Ross is a famous architect, right? So we'll get resort guests come in and they want to rent clubs and buy shoes and a golf outfit, and we're like, have you ever played golf before? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh Lord. Here we go. So,
Yeah, Ross is not the entry level.
that is not entry level.
never driven a golf cart. Like, so you can have people who have no idea, and then people who have this on their bucket list. So there's such a wide variety being a resort. You just don't know who's going to walk in that door.
So speaking of that, how does the Ross course fit into French Lick's legacy here as a golf destination? You said it was 1917 this course
Yeah,
was built,
yeah.
so how does that legacy fit into all of this beautiful French Lick, West Baden area?
Well, I think this course was called the Hill Course. So it was originally called the Hill Course, and that's how everybody in the parks know it, as the Hill. Sits up on a hill before the Pete Dye. So this course was first. I think first it says enough,
Yeah.
right? That they thought this was good enough to build around it.
That's great. That's fun things when you come. I love Donald Ross designs, but 2 of my favorite architects are Donald Ross and Pete Dye, so that's why I love it out here. So.
And I throw Mike Strands in, and you got all 3 of them.
And Strands was taught by Pete Dye. So.
Well, and then you have Lutzke, who was Pete Dye's dirt mover, designing the new course. And then we have the par 3 course. I mean, we have it all.
Yeah.
There's
It's
not
a
much
great
we don't have.
destination. No.
So, pulling in, outside service guys came out, greeted us right away as we're driving in. Great experience coming in on an arrival standpoint. What's the most underrated part of the guest experience, of the experience here, the golf experience at the Ross course?
Underrated? Well, I mean, I think that when you finish, we'll have groups of 16 and 20 and 24 and, bachelor parties and, groups of just guys traveling through, and they like to pile up on the 18th green here and watch each other come in, but they don't even realize my guys are out there trying to help them and clean their clubs. They're like, one guy thought we were trying to steal his clubs the other day, and I'm like, no, he's just trying to clean them. Nobody's ever cleaned my clubs before, he
So
says.
it's
And I'm
like
like,
bought clubs
it's
and a whole
okay,
outfit.
yeah, it's okay. I think, when it comes to customer service, we try to touch you from the moment you come to the moment you leave.
That's awesome. That's in the customer service industry, and all three of us have worked in the customer service industry. It's a tough thing to do, but when you succeed at it, everyone remembers it. So that's great.
Now, you've worked with, we talked about, you've been with the Big Break, you've worked with players at all levels, of this game. What's your one piece of advice you wish every amateur golfer out there knew or followed?
Well, I had a coaching business on tour because everybody wanted to be like me, so I thought I better start a business and make some money with this.
That's good.
So I coached tour players while we played on tour, and the most important thing that an amateur can take from a tour player is the ball means nothing. The target means everything. Where do you want the ball to go?
Yeah.
Because keep your head down is the single most worst advice anybody could ever give anybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
So
I hate when people say that.
Annika is a great example of how far her head is in front of the ball after she hits a ball, and the target, and wrapping your brain around where you want it to go. You can will it there. If you have a 15th club in your bag, it's your mind, and use it. The ball means nothing. It's not going to do any tricks. So I don't know why we're staring at it so hard and paying attention to it so much. I hate, keep your head down. I like, know where you want to go.
So from your coaching experience, you've coached both men and women and everyone out here. Do you see a difference in the way that women approach the game mentally versus the way men approach the game mentally? Or like when you're coaching, do you have to change your style up for anything? Or is, I think golf just golf?
You seriously want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys think you know it all.
There you go. That's the scene.
And the girls are like, please help me.
And that's good advice because I think that's true. I
Yeah.
think you're 100% right with that.
Yeah. I remember out west there were a couple NFL players because it was in Arizona and they were on my range and I'm like, these guys are like 6'6", they're huge. I'm like, but they swing like they're not an athlete. And I went out there, I'm like, hey guys, what's going on out here? Who are you guys? And they told me they were football players. And I'm like, can I help you? Please, let me help you swing a golf club. They're like, please. And I'm like, if you threw me a football, how would you throw me a football? And they throw me a football. I'm like, why do you hit a golf ball like you're a total beginner? You don't even look like an athlete. And I showed them how to look like an athlete and where do they want the football to go? Where do you want, where you're running to, the end zone? I said, pretend that you want this ball to go to the end zone or where you're throwing it. And then all of a sudden they started moving their body and moving their feet. And I was like, holy cow, now they look like an athlete. They hugged me, but they're so tall, it was hard to hug me. But it was so cool to take an athlete who made golf non-athletic and show them that use their sport to help them be an athlete in golf. It's a weird sport. Golf is super weird.
Yeah.
And it changes everybody, and it makes everybody look like they don't know what they're doing. But everybody does know what they're doing if you help them bring that out.
Well, I will say that we're here in Indiana, and as a Pacers fan, Pascal Siakam just took up the game of golf, so maybe we need to get him out here to get some lessons from him.
Absolutely. Let's get Caitlin down
There you go. We got
here.
Caitlin
Let's get them
down
all
here.
down here. Yeah.
They're kind of busy right now. They got a game tonight to worry about. So
We've had a lot of talk recently on the podcast. We've had the park down in West Palm Beach on our show talking about their PATH program, how they're growing the game of golf for juniors. We've had the First Tee of Central Florida on, their CEO on, talking about growing the game. Where do you see French Lick playing that role in growing the game with juniors and families?
Yeah, so French Lick has been a partner of the First Tee of Indianapolis for a long time. They're here every year, and we also bring in interns from colleges that they're going through the PGM program. So, we're raising up young men, and then those young men are raising up the juniors, and then the teaching pros are raising up the high school and the junior highs. I've never been in a place that has so much emphasis on kids and junior golf. Dave Harner and his brother Brent Harner, they have started a program here for kids, and they have never given up on kids, and they let the kids play and practice, and the high school practices here and at the Valley Links, and it's all about the kids for us. And I've never been at a place that supports the kids so much as this place does.
Yeah, and I think as kids get into the barriers of kids and juniors getting into the game, this is not a cheap game to play. So allowing them to come out and do things like that, just speaks volume of who you guys are as a resort destination.
Absolutely. Even surrounding towns, they're calling saying, can we bring our team here?
Yeah.
Can we come here? So we have all these high schools and junior highs wanting to come here. And then, we even did a elementary program where a couple of the pros went into the schools and did like a golf thing. And the kids love it. And
That's awesome.
they live in a town where they can actually do it.
My 4-year-old and I were coming back for the Polar Express in
There you go.
November, so I had to bring him out here to see you. So he loves the game, and he's only 4.
So one final thought for me here as we get ready to go out play here tomorrow. What's one piece of advice you would give to anyone to come play the Ross course for the first time?
Don't be too hard on yourself. It's a hard golf course. You're not going to have a level stance or a level putt. The putting green is the only flat spot on the whole golf course. I yell out the balcony, stop putting out there. It's not going to help you.
So when they're making fun of me for my 120, I should
You
still
know
be
what?
okay.
You should just enjoy your time because it is going to be hard. And that's just it. Just accept that you're not out here to shoot a course record, and it's okay. Just enjoy your game, right?
Did you
Play
hear that,
the,
Steve? You're not out here to shoot a course record tomorrow.
and I'm going to tell you, most people play the wrong tee.
Yeah.
Just pick the tee that's good for you.
That's I think the best advice that most golfers don't realize. They all think, oh, I got to play back, I got to play this. No, play a tee where you're going to enjoy it and you're going to play well.
We had a group of New Yorkers and I said, what tee are you going to play? And they're like, the bronze. I said, can you shoot par from there? And he's like, well, no. I said, well, can you shoot par from the black? He's like, well, no. And I'm like, well, where are you going to shoot par from? Why are you going to play the bronze? He's like,
About halfway up the fairway.
Can I just drop it in the fairway and tee it up?
Could Dave break par from the French? There's the question.
Hey, that'd be an interesting one.
So, well, Lord,
On a future episode.
Thank you for your time today. I know you're busy and you're heading out of town, and we appreciate you meeting with us this morning and taking time to meet with us. And we're looking forward to, and we'll reach out and let you know how we ended up tomorrow. So
Let us know how you ended up.
I'll take the over.
Thank you so much.
I gotta say, the over was correct.
Yep.
But I tell you what, she was right. When we were coming up 18, there was a group of guys in front of us. They must have been playing a tournament match. They were all kind of dressed alike. They were all there on 18 watching. But Lori, if you're out there, if you're watching this show, thank you for your advice. I credit you with my hole-in-one there at Sand Creek. Steve, keep shaking your head because I did it and you didn't.
Luck. Blind squirrel.
Yes, and this blind squirrel found the nut and you didn't.
I do want to highlight a comment that was posted on Instagram. 1 Degree Claremont, which is a new indoor simulator facility opening in Claremont, commented, quote unquote, the ball means nothing, the target means everything. This is gold.
Yeah, that is when she said that, I was blown away. This was one of the most fun interviews that I think we've ever done.
Correct.
We've had a lot of great interviews on here, and thank you to everyone that's been on here. But Lori, your passion for the game, about growing the game, about teaching.
Hey, Lori.
Oh!
Hey, Lori!
Yes.
Lori, thank you for watching. First of all, you were amazing.
Yes.
I hope that your trip to Landman was amazing.
Amazing.
Lori, go over our scores
right here.
And there's your hole
right
in
here.
One ball.
Yeah, I mean, this is right here. There's the scorecards.
Yeah,
there's some circles on there, but it was unbelievable. The course was in great shape. They just mowed, so there was some high areas. The greens were just mowed. They were punched. You couldn't really tell anything was punched out there. It was such a fun day. Yes, congrats, Dave, and that was a amazing hole-in-one after we did that interview. Was when
after we did that interview. So, but I tell you what, I'm going to ask the question here. Steve, I'll post this to you first. The Dye or the Ross, or are we talking apples and oranges?
Here's played a lot of good golf courses in my day. These two right up there as great golf courses. I think there's a lot of people. We've been lucky enough, all of us, to have played some pretty amazing golf courses. I would put both of these up there on my list for two very different reasons. I love and grew up playing an old school Ross course as a child that still sticks out as one of the greatest golf courses I've ever played. It was an old private club in Long Meadow called Long Meadow Country Club, which was absolutely amazing. The Dye course, or the Ross course, very much compared to that, had a lot of the similarities. Like I think back, and if she talked about the 16th hole being her favorite par 3 out there was a hole on that golf course. It was very similar to the 16th hole.
Yeah.
The Dye, man, that golf course will kick you in the teeth.
Now let's put the caveat out there for the Dye. We played it the week before the Corn Ferry Championships. There.
I'm 68.
So
Thanks,
I would
Greg, humble brag.
Yeah. Greg, same question to you. Taking into account we played the Dye the week before the Corn Ferry Championships.
So I've played a lot of Donald Ross. I've played a lot of Pete Dye in my career here, and I really like those two architects. And they are two different architects. And if you really want to understand golf architecture, go to French Lick Resort, because you are going to see how you can have two amazing golf courses by two different architects and have two different experiences.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's what this is. The Dye course has the hills there, has those pot bunkers, has those signature postage stamp greens that Pete Dye is known for. But then, as Lori pointed out here, you get to the Ross course, and there's a lot of blind shots to greens. It's very hilly. It was called the Hills course to begin with, and you can tell that playing out there. But it's a different type of undulations and rolling hills than it is over at the Dye. Yep. So the Don, as Lori has tagged this, which I think is a great tagline for the Donald Ross course, it is a different experience than over there. Do the two compare? Yeah, but I think they're equal, in my opinion, out there. You're going to get this on this vacation to French Lick. You get two equal golf courses. I think that the Dye gets more of the accolades just because the views at the Dye is what sets it apart, in my opinion.
Yep.
But, man, the holes at the Don are just fun. Like, I remember there's that par 4. I want to say it's the 8th hole. It is the 8th hole, now that I think about it, where you can't hit driver off the tee because it is a dog leg immediate left, and the fairway runs out. And if you hit driver too far, you're in the parking lot. Then you have to go over this like cliff to get to the green that is a slanted green from back to front. And if you're down in that valley down there, you're 150 feet hitting uphill to a green that's going to slope right back down to you. Yeah, you did that. I wasn't going to call you out for it, but yes, you experienced that.
So I'll end it with this. And Lori, the three of us, we took your advice. Not one of us hit a putt on the practice green before we went out there, because you're right, it really wouldn't have mattered. So
I hit a couple just for speed, just to see what the speed was. I wasn't trying to make anything. I was just trying to see what the speed was.
So apparently Steve is out here doing Steve
snuck
things.
Out before.
Yeah. I will tell you what, I loved both courses. And Lori, thank you again for sitting down with us. And next time the three of us get out there, we'd love to have you out. come right around and get a couple holes with us next time out there.
Shoot 68 and watch us sit and laugh. And
we
have
definitely
to
got
pay
to
you
get out
money
there
when
and
we're
play with you. I think that would be such a fun to experience that course through kind of your eyes. We got to hear it through your voice in this interview, but to see you play this course, I think would be phenomenal. And if anyone is out there looking for lessons or looking for feature of the year,
deal,
yes,
100%.
done.
Done.
I'll be there in November.
Yes.
I don't think my wife's gonna let me sneak away for golf there. I'm gonna try to play the par 3 course with my 4-year-old. So if you want to come out for that, feel free. So wow.
I do have a smack of the week, by the way.
Yes. Thank you, Lori. Thank you.
Let's roll that beautiful bean
that
footage.
Was so much fun.
Happened.
So the smack of the week that's coming up here is
well, I'm waiting for you to play the intro.
I just played the
We
intro.
already did.
Oh, I missed it. Okay. I was over downloading it. So
wow.
I didn't even hear it,
folks.
I didn't hear it.
Maybe I'll change my headline to Steve's not here this week.
I mean, I'm the one having technical difficulties, so yeah, I thought maybe that was what was going on there.
And it's not me.
Oh, God damn, fuck me to tears. Graduate here, or grad. Oh, God damn, fuck me to tears. Mother. Fuck. God.
It is not one of the lessons you get at French Lick there.
No.
So I gotta ask, Lori, have you ever been hit by someone you were teaching by their club because they're not paying attention?
I hope not.
More than you think.
Not.
I hope not too.
Yeah.
But
let's round it out with last call here tonight.
Yeah. Well, we all use the Cobra DS Adapt. We have 2 different versions because you 2 use the same version, right? You 2 use the Max.
Yeah, we have the Max.
Yep.
I have the LS, so it's they did well out there. Those courses, you need a driver that's going to keep you in the fairway and hit it long, and that is what the Cobra DS Adapt does for all of us out there. So go check them out.
Let's talk about, Greg, you led with it. I had led with it in our tees today. Tiger's back.
Yes.
Let's clarify the word back.
Yeah, it's successfully had back surgery for what the 75th time, I think. That we've had about this, where I don't know what we consider successful with Tiger's back surgery anymore. Just that he's okay.
Here's my question. Tiger, I turn 50 next week. Tiger turns 50 in December.
One of you is a great golfer.
Yes, correct. One of us has multiple green jackets.
Yes.
Will we see Tiger on the Champions Tour?
I hope so. I would love to see him play on the Champions Tour because I think it would be great for the game. I think it's great. It would be great for the Champions Tour. I think we've all talked about this. And when I say all of us, I mean golf fans in general, even from when he started out, that, hey, someday he's going to be on the Champions Tour and he's going to dominate on there just the way he dominated on the PGA Tour. Then the end of his PGA career kind of fizzled out. We had all these injuries. You could see it. You could see it happening. And it was very kind of devastating to watch from a golf fan's perspective. So we want Tiger to get better. So we hear all of these back surgeries and all of this stuff being done that I'm hoping it's to help him play the game more comfortably and be out there and able to compete. Not on the scale that he used to compete at, because that's never going to happen. Yeah. We're all getting old. That happens to all of us.
Here's the thing. I'm going to take a different take on this one, Greg, a little bit. We're golfing dads, and we're dads first. And I think Tiger is looking at this as a quality of life situation to be there for his kids, to be there for Charlie, as he grows up and, he's playing golf and everything. Do I want to see him and, Big John tee it up and on the Champions Tour? Because I think that would be fun. The two of them going at it again. We've all heard the stories about, Tiger's workout and, John in the clubhouse smoking Marlboros and drinking Miller Lite. there. But I think for Tiger and as a dad, approaching that number as well too, I kudos to him. And I just think he's doing it more for himself and to be a dad for his kids. And hopefully we get to see the golf again. But I think, ultimately he's doing it for, himself and his family.
So let me ask you this on that kind of counterpoint there. I think you're right. I think that's a great way. He's doing this for his own personal reasons. We all selfishly want to see him play more on tour, whether it's the PGA or the Champions Tour. But if all this did was kind of guarantee us that we will see him and Charlie playing the father-son every year, I'm happy with that. Are you guys happy with that?
I'm down with the fifth
I
major.
think as long as he shows up and walks a couple holes at Augusta every year, I think everybody's going to be happy.
Yeah, that's
that too.
That's the way it's going to be. So,
yeah.
Dave, go ahead, Steve.
To move on from Tiger, there's been a lot of rumors, and it's like live poaching season. I feel like there's been a lot of rumors floating on who's going and who's not going to live.
So I want to do something fun here. I'm going to take our segment Odds with Dave, and I want to ask you guys what you think the odds are for this. The Nikon rangefinder, the official rangefinder of the LPGA Tour and the Golfing Dads Tavern. Make sure you pick one up today. The stabilization, the image clarity makes this one of the best rangefinders out there on tour and in your bag.
And I tell you what, my 11-year-old, my 10-year-old, my son,
my 11-year-old
knows how to work it out on the golf course. We were out there this weekend, and I tell you what, guys, here's the odds this weekend. There really no odds on anybody going to live. The reason being, there's contractual obligations. There's a whole bunch of different things that could happen in the odds to make the odds move one way or the other. So no books are putting any odds on anybody going, just because they don't want to see the movement one way or another.
Well, that's where I want to know.
It's
what
a bad
our
bet
odds
right
are.
now.
Yeah, these are our odds. So that's where I'm taking this.
The most likely right now: Tony Finau, Jason Day, Victor Hovland, Tom Kim, Wyndham Clark, and Hideki Matsuyama are the top picks. Are the top picks?
And I will tell you why Hideki. Right, I know why Hideki. Hideki.
Those are the top picks to potentially go to live right now.
So, Dave, I'm going to ask you first, then I'm going to ask Steve, and then I'll answer myself. Dave, if you had to pick one of those, who is the one that
Tony Finau
think? Tony, okay, and why?
I think Tony's just like some of the other guys that jumped ship to live a couple of years ago. I think Tony's had his struggles on the PGA Tour lately, and we all know Tony travels with a very immense family base, and I think the live schedule,
one of the best golfing dads out there.
Yes, and I think the live schedule and what he'd be able to do for his family plays more into the live side. Not talking financial here or at all. I just think the way the schedule works out with live plays more into Tony's family dynamics.
Okay, family life balance. I can see that. That's a good way to kind of look at this. That's a good take on this. All right, Steve. So we got Tony Finau on one end here. Well, who do you think is most likely to go if someone does go?
So I don't think that it's somebody on that list that's been named.
Oh, you're taking a wild card. Cinderella story, making a comeback. Warms the heart.
Jason Day intrigues me. I don't think he goes, though. I really don't. I think any of the guys, and the reason I don't think Tony goes is any of those guys that are involved in TGL are going to jump ship. I just don't.
I hadn't considered the TGL aspect. Thank you.
Hideki Hideki is intriguing to me. Hideki is very intriguing to me in that I feel like, hey, the OG himself, the Orlando golfer, commented, I think Scotty's going over. Dave, odds he goes.
Minus 1 million.
Okay. Hideki is intriguing to me because I think that Hideki will get John Rahm money to go. Partly because it gets them into the Japanese market and it gets the Asian market and it gets literally just whoop, okay, here you go, Hideki. Because of what he brings, being a former Masters champion, I just don't see him. I think he's big on his legacy, and I don't see him going for that reason. Especially because, to me, if you're one of the guys on tour that's making a ton of money, especially, again, he's a TGL guy. I think that if you look at what they're getting from TGL, and I think when you look at what the bigger names are about to get, because I think there's some big changes coming down the line at the PGA Tour, that the bigger names are all going to be, it's going to be basically feeding the bigger names money. I don't think he goes. I think you look at some interesting names, and I'll throw one out there is Potgieter, winner recently on the PGA Tour. Doesn't really have any loyalty to the American Tour. Hits it a mile. Won on the PGA Tour, was runner-up to Brian Campbell in Mexico as well this year. You really didn't do much other than those two events, though. I see Potgieter as a guy that's like, I can go over here and make a lot of money. Let me go. And I think you see someone like that go. I don't see, the Ricky Fowlers of the world, the Tony Finau's of the world. When you look at it from a business standpoint, the only thing that I will give Tony and Dave, I think Tony's going through a lot legally right now with some people that invested in him early on that were supposed to be continuing to get percentages of his earnings on the PGA Tour, and there is some legal trouble going on.
Yeah.
I don't know if that will alleviate any of his legal problems by going because he won't be on the PGA Tour anymore. I also look and say all of the money that Liv has lost that has been very public in England, if I'm a big name PGA Tour player that's involved in TGL and everything else, why would I go get into that mess?
Right. I got to agree with your points. I hadn't taken the TGL factor coming in, which we'll get into here in the next couple of weeks. I believe TGL restarts on December 28th. But whatever happens between the PGA and Liv, at this point in time, we're past the Brooks and the Bryson and Phil and the John Rahm. We're past the $300-400 million guys. Now it's coming down to guys that are looking to not necessarily make a name for themselves, but maybe have that little bit more balance between a work life, PGA, daily grind. The Liv is almost, unless you're relegated, the Liv is also almost a guaranteed thing coming in week in, year in and year out for you. You have guys coming off of, we'll talk about the Pete Dye course at French Lick again. I mentioned it last week. Neil Shipley got his tour card, coming up. You have all these new guys coming in from the Corn Ferry Tour that just got their cards. We've seen players struggle near that cut line before, playing in, events week after week after week, that sometimes these guys, you miss the cut and you're out. They don't have the big name sponsors, your flights, your hotels, your caddy, this, that, and the other. You go to Liv, you're getting a guaranteed paycheck, your quality of life, and your year in, year out. You're still playing golf. Sometimes it makes sense.
So I'm going to give a counterpoint to that, Dave, because I think that – so my pick, I'm going to pick a wild card here that I don't think is actually going to happen because of what happened this week on tour. Is I was going to say Xander Schauffele would be one that I would consider that would switch over because of you were so high this season was a kind of a low. Now you're getting back to your playing form, so I don't see this happening. But I could have seen him saying, hey, maybe if I can't keep performing at this, but I can perform on live with a smaller field, that could make a change. But what I actually see is if I was going over to live, like what you were saying, Dave, when you had the John Rahms, the Brysons, the Bubbas, the Mickelsons, going over, getting a lot of money right out of the gate, you're not going to see that money really unless you get someone like a Xander again.
Yeah.
But you also talked about relegation too. And relegation is a big thing. Like Pat Perez got relegated and is now an announcer on live, and because he can't come back to the PGA. So if you don't perform over on live now, you're not going to get a lot of that guaranteed money. So it's not going to be the same. And you're not going to have a job because the PGA Tour is not going to take you back because there's still that kind of tension between the two.
I'm going to ask one final question here. And I think this plays more to the European and international players. Does a spot on the Ryder Cup matter more going to live for a European or international player than it does for an American player?
So really quickly, there's an interesting, and Dave, you just opened Pandora's box on that because
we're kind of running out of time tonight, and we may
we are, and we've gone over, but there's been some talk because the only reason that Terrell Hatton and John Rahm played on the Ryder Cup team this year was that they had appealed their fines and suspensions from the DP World Tour. And once that hearing is held, if they lose that hearing, they will not be eligible for the Ryder Cup team based on the DP World Tour, which is funny because the DP World Tour also allows live players to play on it. So it's kind of odd to me. So you open Pandora's box this is entirely.
Well, let's sit and stew on that topic a little bit. Greg, really quick opinion from you on that before we finish up for the night.
I think it's a factor. I think it's always been a factor. I think it's going to be a factor moving forward. Yeah. But I think that the factors that affected the players that are already on live are not the same factors that are affecting the players that might be thinking about jumping ship to it. Yeah. So it's a different decision now. And it's going to be interesting to what comes of a merger, what comes of anything. Can these two coexist? Can they exist friendly? So there's a lot more to unfold from this, and we'll dive into that in another episode. So thank you for watching tonight. Lori, thank you for being on our show, but commenting tonight. A legend out at French Lick. Thank you to everyone at French Lick Resort. Thank you to Sweeney. Thank you to Dave out at French Lick. Thank you to Rob, Lori, everyone that was out there. We had an amazing time out there. Yeah. The staff was phenomenal. There was not one thing that went wrong while we were at French Lick. And there was no reason for them to know that we were there recording anything or doing anything. So that's what you're going to get if you book a golf trip to French Lick. So with that, cheers to French Lick.
Cheers.
Deuces.
We'll see you next time in the tavern.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having an opportunity to build something that's
And remember, folks, use code Golfing Dads to get 15% off your order at Desert Fox Golf. Also use code Golfing Dads to get 15% off your order at golfish.com. Use code Golfing Dads to get 20% off your order at Jacket Sunscreen, and use the Golfing Dads Tavern to get 5% off your order at FlightScope.